Hi, I'm Kenneth, and welcome to Common Hawthorne, or welcome back. Today I want to talk about this card. This is actually one of my favorite Hermit cards, but I have been thinking about how this is really a seeker. This is somebody going out on a journey. And there's a place where the hermit, the word, came from, and it comes from people who went out. They did, in fact, go out. They were, in fact, seeking, but then they lived in the desert. The desert mothers and fathers of early Christianity were, in some ways, the archetype, or an archetype, of the hermit, and they weren't wandering around. I'm going to share some of the sayings that are recorded by them. One is Abba Poemen said to Abba Joseph, "Tell me how to become a monk." He said, "If you want to find rest here below all circumstances, say, 'Who am I?' and do not judge anyone." So that search of who am I is part of what's going on here. And then Abba Theophilus, the archbishop, came to Scetis one day. The brethren who were assembled said to Abba Pambo, "Say something to the archbishop so that he may be edified." The old man said to them, "If he is not edified by my silence, he will not be edified by my speech." As somebody with a Quaker background, I really like that. Abba Moses said, "Sit in thy cell, and thy cell will teach thee all." Amma Syncletica said, "There are many who live in the mountains and behave as if they were in the town. They are wasting their time. It is possible to be a solitary in one's mind while living in a crowd, and it is possible for those who are solitaries to live in the crowd of their own thoughts." A more recent, meaning, 14th century instead of 3rd century, person that I'll mention that may be familiar to you is Julian of Norwich. She was an anchorite. She was a layperson who lived in a cell attached to a church and prayed for people, and they gave her money and brought her things and came for advice. And during her lifetime was when the Black Death came through Europe, killing 30 to 60% of the population. We don't know exactly how many. And yet, with that as the context for her life, she is known for the saying, "All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of thing shall be well." And then I'm going to read another quote from her, from Revelations of Divine Love, the book that she wrote based on visions she had when she was near death as a young woman. "From the time these things were first revealed, I had often wanted to know what was our Lord's meaning. It was more than 15 years after that I was answered in my spirit's understanding. 'You would know our Lord's meaning in this thing? Know it well. Love was his meaning.' 'Who showed it to you? Love.' 'What did he show you? Love.' 'Why did he show it? For love.' Hold on to this, and you will know and understand love more and more, but you will not know or learn anything else ever." So with that kind of different perspective that I bring into the Hermit, I've chosen some cards from other decks to share. From the 5 Cent Tarot, I didn't look up what kind of creature that is, but upright, it's soul searching, and reversed, because it has keywords, it's withdrawal. And this is a really good example of why reversals aren't just negative. I mean, this might be intended as negative. Can't read backwards. Isolation, loneliness goes with withdrawal. But we are experiencing in our own lives the virtue. Might be external, it might not feel internal, but there's a virtue in withdrawal. So I would read that reversal, even using that keyword, as not a negative. And then from Tarot of the Master, here is the Hermit, who's definitely arrived in that desert place and is studying himself. The commonplace tarot hermit to me looks like some sort of Celtic nun with a standing stone. Again, not journeying. Lightseer's tarot. A number of the recent indie decks pick up on this idea of withdrawal, of somebody who is separated from society, but not somebody who is wandering. Similarly with the Hermit in Cesare Beto. Then I like this one from the Tarot of Delphi, which is kind of funny because, there he is trying in the culvert, and there are people around who aren't keeping 6 feet away. And finally, one of my favorites from the Tarot of Dürer. I could have sworn that this card was modeled pretty directly on one of Dürer's etchings, but I can't find it. It's not Jerome, and it's not Anthony. But anyway, there's someone in the wilderness. So make of that what you will. It's just something that was suddenly shouting out at me about the situation that many of us find ourselves in right now, of voluntarily physically isolating ourselves, and that it might be helpful to remember that there are other people who've done this, and that it's possible to go through the privation into an expansiveness of spirit, and just another aspect that if this is what you always think of when you think of the hermit, I encourage you to consider that that this hermit finds a place to be alone, and then stays there to discover what truth and wisdom there is for him in that place. So again, this is Kenneth, and you're watching Common Hawthorne. Thank you for visiting, and I will see you anon.